to introduce a rock star on tonight. He is earning an extra 5 figures a month part-time from home. He is helping so many people earn double-digit returns during a pandemic. We are having tons of fun exposing the secrets of the wealthy, and he can answer all of your questions about income shifting. He is like the LeBron James of our group when it comes to getting your money back from the big three. So let's give a virtual round of applause to our speaker on tonight, Mr. Richard Hardon. Mr. Hardon, are you ready?
Awesome, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get started in this conversation. And this is actually a conversation. This is a conversation about having conversations. So this is what I encourage tonight. Make sure that you're in a position to take notes, because this is one of those rare opportunities that we get to teach people how to be the change they want to see. Because I know right now, I just keep getting updates. I don't even look on Facebook. I'm not looking at the news. I'm not looking at anybody talking about who's got red, who's got blue, because you know what? The divide that I'm most concerned about is the wealth gap in America. Think about this. If you divided up America, 1% of the population would own the West Coast. That would be the wealthy. 9% would own everything east of the Mississippi River. That would be the above average. And the rest, the other 90% of the country, will own Florida and Louisiana only.
Wow.
So about wealth, creating wealth, making wealth real, we're going to have a real income shifting conversation. And before I say anything else, I got to give it back to my hostess, because Tia Glenn is nobody's joke. Meaning, it's ironic. She was just so casually welcoming everybody cheerfully into this evening's conversation, but she's so humble, she didn't even tell you her name. But let me tell you her name, Tia Glenn, the CFO. She's got, extensive background in marketing, in accounting, and most importantly, in helping people understand their economics personally to get to another level. So it would be ridiculous for me to just try to have this conversation by myself, knowing good and well that Tia is available to help us. So if anybody deserves that round of applause, that warm welcome on this Zoom tonight, y'all give it up for Tia Glenn. Now, Tia, we'll walk through this conversation together. And for those of you taking notes, I put my cheat sheet in the notes over there in chat. So if you're in a position where you can get to a paper and print that out, you'll have the blueprint for creating financial success, not just for you, but for the people around you. Because we're at the beginning of a movement, and our objective is to teach people how to get from where they are right now to where they want to be financially. And I take it as an awesome privilege, an awesome pleasure to be able to teach something that I did not learn in school. Because here's my reality. I think if anybody on this line is listening, our stories aren't that different. Meaning I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And in Atlanta, they taught us a formula. They said you're supposed to go to school, get good grades so that you can get a good job. Go to college, get a degree, get a good job with benefits, and live happily ever after. How many of you something like that where you're from? So wherever you're from, type that in the chat so that we know that's what they said to you. And by the way, if you're in a place where your camera can be on, turn it on, because this is an eyes on conversation. My dad said, look at people in their eyeballs when you talk to them. Look at them in their eyeballs. Here's what I want to think about. I did the things that they said to the best of my ability, meaning from my 8th grade to senior year. Bernard, I ain't get any grade below a 93. You know what they call somebody like that gets those kind of grades in inner city public school in the South? Geek. Geek, bookworm, square, all athlete, all of those things. But the last day they called me the valedictorian, and they've called me that ever since. Now, here's what's true. That means when I left Atlanta public school system, I knew that I learned everything the school system intended to teach me. I got an academic scholarship, went off to Duke University, and I double majored. I got 2 degrees in 4 years in difficult disciplines, electrical engineering, computer science. And Here's the thing that happened during my matriculation, Bernard, because I know that when I left Frederick Douglass High School, Center for Engineering and Technology, when I left Doug, I knew that when I got out of Duke, I went in knowing, you know what, I'm gonna come out here making $1 million a year. I went through my first couple of years, freshman classes and math, and I decided that $100,000 a year is not that bad. Even by the time I got to be a junior, some of my friends were already seniors getting their offers. I said, they gave him 40. I hope I can get 40. And by the time I got to my senior year, I was like, Lord Jesus, somebody just give me a job.
Yeah.
Anybody see the process of education just beating down a dream from $1 million down to 40? But here's the good news. I got out into the world of technology. I was blessed to find work in my job, in my degree in the 90s, because the world of technology was exploding. So I went quickly from my starting salary to 6 figures. That's what they said. And you know what I found, Bernard?
What it was?
It wasn't enough. Because unfortunately, my wife and I started our family early. Our first child was born our freshman year in college. And by the time we added 2 more kids and a house to that, I found myself in that frustrated place where I looked around and said, the old folks weren't lying. When they said the more you make, the more they take.
What they take.
And it was just one of those humbling experiences to realize that here I was making the salary that they said I could make, but looking at my accounts and my progress and the money I had left and realizing that every month I'd spend some money on the first and I was check to check. And then there was some months where between both of them, I couldn't cover everything. So I was check behind a check. Anybody relate?
Yep.
Now here's the good news. There was a time I used to beat myself up about that. I was like, you gotta be smarter than this. It turns out it had nothing to do with my intelligence, but my ignorance. Meaning there are things that we're not taught in America, and it's not just me, it's most people. How many of you weren't taught tax strategy, weren't taught debt elimination, weren't taught wealth accumulation? Those just weren't topics in the school system. And it's because they don't know. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about your money. But most importantly, we're going to talk about how to reverse these numbers. Because here's the numbers I want to make sure that people understand, Tia. If you ever felt pressure about living paycheck to paycheck, relax. It's not just you. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. If you ever felt like you were paying too much in taxes, like they took everything and they still want more, relax. It's not just you. 70% of Americans pay too much in taxes. If you have credit challenges, I'm not going to even ask you to raise your hand, but understand 80% of Americans feel that way, and 90. That's the condemning number right there, Bernard. These 2 numbers I'm going to show you next. 90% of Americans are buried in debt because the system is designed that we'll pay too much in taxes, that we'll have credit challenges, and that we'll be buried in debt. And that's why at the end of their working years, working the plan, because here's the plan they subconsciously put us in. Write these numbers down, 40, 40, 40. 40 hours a week for 40 years of our lives to retire on 40% of what wasn't enough when we were working. That's why 70% of Americans, by the time they get to retirement age, can't afford to retire. And that's why you see people that are in delicate groups welcoming people at Walmart. But now understand, we're not here to talk doom and gloom. We're just here to talk strategy. We got a simple game plan everybody can use called income shifting. If you're taking notes, write that down. If you're not taking notes, get a blank piece of paper. On that blank piece of paper, at the top, write the words income shifting. What's income shifting? It's a set of financial strategies we use to shift income back to its original owner, who is you. Everybody tap yourselves. The source of wealth in America is right there beating in your chest. We just got to decide that the person we're creating wealth for is the one that we see in the mirror. So Tia and I, we're going to split this conversation amongst us and the other partners in this conversation. Because again, this is a conversation, not a presentation. So talk, interact, ask and answer questions, but I want you to write on that paper the number 4, the number 3, number 2, number 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's how you'll know when we're done. We're going to talk about the MWR Financial. MWR, by the way, for those of you that want to know who our partners are, it's Make Wealth Real Financial. Countdown to Financial Freedom. We're going to talk about the 4 challenges. We're going to talk about the 3 financial solutions, also known as income shifting. We're going to talk about the 2 financial objectives that, regardless of what you think or who gets elected tonight, that everyone in America has, and the 1 company that's making it real. Is that good? So let me step aside to get some perspective, because here's what I want to do. I want to introduce my friend and business partner, Tia Glenn, to talk about the 4 challenges that people have when it comes to creating wealth in America. Because here's the reality. Most people think that it's something other than them. I mean, they think it's a deficiency in them and not a systematic cash extraction that has them living from check to check. But as Tia reveals what I call undeniable truth, when she talks about the 4 challenges, just think about your money, how it comes into your life, and if it goes out the same challenges that the rest of us face. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Share just a perspective that you had when we talked about the 4 challenges when it comes to money. I'll drive the slides. You just tell me when to click.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate that. And as you mentioned, my background is in accounting. And so I've managed budgets for many different companies, and they taught me how to increase revenues and how to manage large budgets. But what was never taught was a wealth strategy for my family, because they don't teach Wealth 101 or Tax Strategy 102 in school. And I have degrees in accounting and marketing, and I've been doing accounting for over 22 years. And so you are in the right place at the right time, because what we're talking about are some of the secrets of the wealthy. And the sad part is most people don't even realize that there are these challenges that we're going to talk about on tonight. There are 4 key challenges that I want to cover. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is inflation. Now, inflation, they call the silent income killer. And there's 3 other challenges we're going to talk about: taxes, debt, and big business. But I want to start with inflation. Now, inflation is the cost of goods and services going up incrementally a little bit each day. Now, the challenge with inflation is most people's income is not keeping up with the increase in the cost of goods and services that we are consuming on an everyday basis. So let's think about right now in the pandemic. The same amount of money you were able to go to the grocery store and buy food and supplies for your family pre-COVID, you cannot do that right now because the cost of goods and services have gone up so incrementally. Things just like Lysol, everyday household good. Pre-COVID, you probably could get it for $3 to $4 a can. Now, if you can even find it, you are paying anywhere from $15 to some $25 in some cases just for the same product. Inflation, silent income killer. Taxes, we all pay them. We're all familiar with them, right? So taxes, we call the chainsaw massacre. Why? Because through taxes, you are losing the first 1/3 of your income. Before you get to make any decisions on how you're going to spend your money, taxes come off the top. So that's 30% on average of whatever amount you are making is going to taxes, income taxes. So if you make $100,000 a year, $30,000 is going to taxes immediately off the top. And so you're netting 70,000, not just income taxes. We pay property taxes in a lot of states, sales taxes, again, on those goods and services. So when you're buying that $20 can of Lysol, you're paying sales tax on top of it, right? So the 3rd challenge I want to talk about is debt. So inflation, prices of goods and services are going up. Your income is not going up. It's actually down because the first 1/3 has already been taken off the top taxes. And now a lot of people have to go into debt in order to maintain their daily lifestyle, which is called the family curse. That's the second 1/3 of your income. Credit card debt or other types of debt. And it's the second largest expense. And a lot of families pass down generational debt. And tonight, we want to reverse that family curse. And we want to teach you the strategies of the wealthy so that you can pass down generational wealth to your family and build a legacy for your children. The fourth financial challenge that I want to talk about is called big business. Now, this one, most people don't even realize it's happening. It's so subtle. And that's why we call it the money trap. As Richard mentioned, I have a degree also in marketing, and companies spend millions of dollars strategizing on commercials and ads just to figure out how to get you to spend the last 1/3 of your money. Let's think about it. We just celebrated Halloween.
Right.
Halloween is a $1 billion industry, right? In October. Now we're in the month of November. There's Thanksgiving, and then there's the shopping days that everybody knows about, Black Friday, Brown Thursday. Next thing you know, it'll be Silver Sunday. It's just more gimmicks that they come up with to get you to spend your hard-earned money. In December, there's Christmas, January, New Year's, February, Sweethearts Day, March, March Madness, April, Easter, May, Mother's Day. We have to celebrate our moms. And then June, Father's Day, July, 4th of July, August is back to school, September is Labor Day, October, Halloween, as I mentioned, and we come right back to November. Why did I go through the months? Because each month there's something that is getting you to spend your money. Hence, the money trap. Those are the 4 financial challenges that's taking more of your income out of your pocket. But we have great news for you on tonight, because for every problem, how many of you know, for every problem, there is a solution. The key is to find the solution to the problem. And when you have a solution to the problem, you, my friends, tonight are winning. So just because we're in the middle of a pandemic does not mean that you cannot position yourself to win. And that is what MWR Financial has done. They have positioned us to win with their 3 financial solutions. And so, Richard, do you want me to talk about those, or do you want to talk about the solutions?
Well, why don't we go back and forth here? So I'll talk about the solution concept, and then you talk about how our experts help people solve the problems. Does that make sense?
Nice.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's do this. So let's recap, because here's a place where I think people have a fundamental disconnect about their invitation sometimes. Most people think, when they get on the Zoom, they're all worried about what's my friend trying to get me into? Is this some kind of scheme, some kind of scam? No, the scam's already been perpetrated. What we're doing, we're on a mission to help people first get their money back. Because I don't think I really understood until I really looked at the challenges the way that you presented them, where my check was going. I always thought it was something other than me, not even realizing that the big 3 were taking so much money from my life, I barely had room to expand and have my money make more money. So just passionate and excited about the process of going to the next level by giving people strategy. So write this down. We're going to talk about 3 income shifting strategies until you'll be back in just a minute when we talk about how the method of execution, about the team that we get to help people do it. But here's what I want you to understand. First thing that we got to do, if we ever want to get to a place. Now, I'm going to make the assumption everybody on this line at 9 p.m. Eastern time wants to be wealthy. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
The thing that we got to do if we want to be wealthy is we got to learn different things than what we were taught in school, because obviously that formula isn't working. So the 3 solutions we're going to talk about are also known as income shifting. What does that mean? Well, the 3 things that we do, 3 strategies: cash flow management, business income, and investment income. Again, cash flow management, business income, and investment income. If you don't take anything away from this current political process, the one thing that you need to understand is that in America, it doesn't matter how much money you make, nearly as much as how you make your money. And I'll show you this way. If you got a job, good job, with a W-2, you're taxed at 28 to 33% until you get to $100,000 a year. Then it goes up to 35 to 37%. Those players in the NFL, they get taxed 40%.
Wow. Wow.
So you can have $1 million salary, but you're giving half to Uncle Sam. But here's the thing: the formula is what messes it up. Because here it is: when you have a W-2, the code says I work, I'm taxed, and I get to spend what's left. Business income. So the reason that we generate business income is that a 1099. Just if you have a good job and you add a 1099 income through a home-based business as an investment to your portfolio, it gets taxed 18 to 23%. The business works, it gets to spend money, and it gets taxed on what's left. And that's why, if you look in today's headlines, you'll find trillionaires. Jeff Bezos, first trillionaire, owner of Amazon. Do you know his company didn't pay taxes for 18 years? Because they got to spend all of their money and get taxed on profits they reported. And whoever, just imagine this, their public record, so you can go look it up. Whoever gets elected president, they paid less in taxes than I did the last 5 years. And now we can be mad at the game, we can look at the news, or we can get in the game and do something different, because here's the last strategy: it's investment income. And here's the formula: money works. Money gets reinvested, and money gets to make more money, and it gets taxed less than anything in America through capital gains. I mean, think about this. There's a reason they say the rich get richer. They set up the codes and made the laws so that it will work out that way. So if we ever want to change and shift our position, we also have to shift our thinking and our income through these three strategies. Now, these strategies are designed, even though I'm going to go through them in order, they're designed to be run concurrently, not consecutively. Does that make sense? Concurrently, not consecutively. What am I saying? At the same time. At the same
Darn.
time. That was you, because that was in your head. But here's how we do it. First, we start with the money that you do have, because I do want you to write this in your notes. My income is a source of wealth. What I'm going to show you tonight is that your income is a source of wealth for someone. Based on your approach to this philosophy, we can make a shift. Because what we're going to do with cash flow management, and cash flow, you know what, Tia, that's probably the most important concept for us to break down right now, because I know for me, I had a misconception about cash flow my whole life. I thought my cash flow and my income were the same thing. But it turns out that income is a measure of amount, while cash flow is a measure of time. So if you got $1 million income, but you got $2 million in expenses, your cash flows 1/2, 1/2 period. But if you got an $80,000 income, but only $40,000 in bills, your cash flows 2 times your period of need. And wealth, in its best definition, is just infinite cash flow. Getting to the place where your money makes enough money that you don't have to work again. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. I get excited. So I want to make sure that as we break this down, we equip people not only to understand the conversation, but to take action. So what we're going to do to increase cash flow for hardworking Americans is get them their money back. Everybody say, give me my money back.
Give me my money back.
We're going to minimize taxes. We're going to minimize debt. We're going to minimize expenses. We're going to increase credit scores, which lowers interest rates, which increases cash flow. And then we're going to do that all by giving them access to a team of what we should have been equipped with day one: experts in dealing with money, credit, equity, and wealth. Those are the 3 notes. Write those down: money, credit, equity, and wealth. You want as much of those as you can have. And then we'll talk about how just getting this done for yourself first, and then all the people you love second, can build a tremendous business income. Making sense?
Yeah.
Good news and a bad. I put it up front. $79.97 is the maximum investment you can make to get access to the team of experts when it comes to using the Financial Edge. But the Financial Edge membership is the cornerstone of our movement. Because what do? We provide access to a team of financial experts. And I know sometimes people get confused about, well, if you're in MWR Financial, what's my role? First role I want you to write is three distinct roles in our business. We have a team of experts, team of financial experts that all they do is execute the plays, execute the strategies when it comes to shifting your money back from the big three and shifting it into vehicles that grow for you. So write that in your notes. I'm not the expert. As a matter of fact, point to Tia and Richard. Tia is actually an expert, but she's not going to deal with your finances. She's busy helping other families. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They execute the strategies as leaders in the extra digit movement. What's the extra digit movement? Oh, we're that movement dedicated to adding one extra digit to your net worth on the front end. So that if you're right now at a 4 or 5 figure net worth, you get a 6 figure net worth. You at 6 figures now, let's have $1 million experience. And the goal is to help each one teach one so that we can all go up together. And the most important role in our business is exposing. If you're new, write this down. Your job is simply to expose. And what does that mean? We invite people to Zoom, let them hear common sense information, and we let God sort them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because here's the goal. So Tia, I'm gonna pass back to you. We'll go back and forth as we talk about the Financial Edge membership, what it is and what it's done for people. But I want to make sure to get the elephant out of the Zoom up front. The maximum investment, if you want to do everything we do, is $228. The minimum investment is $0. But somewhere between those numbers, we put you in a position where Money Max, Credit Max, Equity Max, and Wealth Max go to work for you, helping you get the results that people have seen through our membership. Does that make sense? So Tia, why don't you take the lead, talk to them about what each Edge membership does for them. And we'll get some testimonies as you go.
Okay, sounds good. So we want to talk about, as Richard said, adding that extra digit to your income. So how do we do that? We are going to first minimize your taxes with our Money Max strategy. Money Max is one of the 4 tools that MWR, the company that we have a partnership with, to help shift your income back into your pocket. Okay, so Money Max is the tool that's going to help you reduce your taxes. So many of you who work for a company filled out the form when you first started, probably on your first or second day working for the company. That form is called a W-4. That form is very important because it tells your employer how much taxes to withhold from your paycheck. Most people fill it out and never look at it again. And the IRS says over 88% of Americans have that form filled out incorrectly. And so MWR's team of experts is going to look at that information, correct it if necessary, and help you shift that money back into your pocket. And there have been so many testimonies with our Money Max tool. One of the other things that Money Max does is it provides you with the software called TaxBot. Guys, this is a game changer. I'm an accountant and I see so many clients come with paper receipts and records all over the place, and they're losing deductions because they don't have all their paperwork together. TaxBot helps you stay organized. It puts all of your receipts, all of your expenses into the electronic app, or you can use it on your desktop. And at the end of the tax year, all of your deductible expenses, whether they are personal or for your business, are all in this app. This is a game changer. Money Max is helping people lower their taxable income. The next tool I want to talk about, increasing your credit score. Guys, credit is so important. Why? Because credit determines the cost of money for you. So if you have to borrow money, your credit score is going to determine how much you're going to pay back in interest for that money. And so with our Credit Max, a team of credit restoration experts, keyword restoration. We are not putting a Band-Aid over a broken bone. We are restoring your credit back to its most maximum potential. So even if you have a low credit score, this young lady on the screen, she had one of the lowest scores that you can have in the 300s. And with our working with our experts in just a short period of time, they were able to raise her credit score to over 763 points. She is the first young lady in her family to be able to purchase a vehicle without needing her grandfather to co-sign. That is incredible. We are seeing incredible results, just like Jessica. Her and her husband both used the tool and was able to increase their scores over 228 points. Mr. Chuck Hardon, he already had a high credit score, and they were able to get him well over 800. Guys, the stories go on and on, just like Charlotte. Charlotte, her credit score was improved as well. And so the third pillar that we want to talk about in our solution is our Equity Max. Equity Max is the tool that helps you eliminate your debt. Remember, we're shifting more of your income back into your pocket. We have decreased the taxes, we are increasing your income, and now we want to eliminate your debt. And so they have a strategy to help expedite your payoff of your debt through uploading your information. Again, you are not the expert. We're not expecting you to do all of these complicated calculations. The tool does it for you. Charlotte, her creditors, do you know your creditors have a game plan for you? Their game plan is to keep you paying them for the rest of your life. Just Charlotte that you see on the screen. Her creditors' plan for her was to pay debt for the next 111 years and 8 months. And with Equity Max, in putting her information into the tool, they were able to reduce that to 2 years and 6 months, saving her over $500,000 in interest. You have to have a strategy, and our experts have a strategy. In addition to your debt elimination, there's the bill shredder tool where you can upload your monthly utilities, any bill that you pay, your cell phone bill. You can upload it into the tool. They will analyze it, the experts, and help to negotiate a reduction in your bill, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we have many people on the line that have testimonies with Bill Shredder as well. And so I'm going to pause real quick because I know we have some partners on the line that have some real life testimonies of what these tools have been and done for you and your family, whether it's Money Max, Credit Max, Equity Max. We want to hear from you. Business partners, if you have a testimony, you can go ahead and come off of mute.
Well, I can give my testimony. I got a testimony.
Mr. Hardon, I tell you, I can't wait to hear this testimony.
I got a testimony because I'm excited about my Credit Max testimony because now, of course, I'm be transparent. I have bad credit. My credit was like 760, 770, right? But I was following the process because it's a full process they have for us. And I just uploaded my 3 credit reports. About 2 months later, they sent me a notification saying my credit went up to 805. Then it went to 811. Then last month, they sent me a notification saying I'm at 823. And I like to keep the proof real close, right? So that's October 16th. They let me know my credit score 823. So I'm about to buy me another house right now. My 823.
Nice. And the rates are good and low with that credit score.
Exactly. I got people negotiating. I got 2 or 3 people negotiating. Hey, man, what you got? Just show me your number, baby. That's all I'm saying. Show me your number.
Awesome.
Put a little swag on a little bit, you know.
Outstanding. I'm trying to get that 800, high 800 club with you, Mr. Hardon. I'm on my way.
There we go.
I got one as well, Tia. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I just got off work, man. I took off my shirt to change outfits to be free with you guys. My credit score over the last 32 days just went up 58 points. But what I'm really excited about is the Money Max pillar that we actually have. Being that I work a job, I'm the manager of one of the biggest U-Hauls and storage facilities here in Atlanta. I took my pay stubs and my most current tax return, and they was able to have me with an instant pay raise of $132 back into my check bi-weekly. So that's been able to be an extra $324 I've been able to put back into my pocket every single month since February this year.
Wow, outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing. $332. Did you have to work any extra hours at U-Haul to get that money?
Nah, no extra hours.
You got to go talk to your boss and get a raise?
And the beautiful thing is that now I see a way with that extra money that my equity max, they gave me a debt-free date of May 2029, and my $1 million date is September 2056. So I'm able to put some money towards my debts and actually get to those dates a lot faster. So I'm very excited about these.
Wow, as you should be. Guys, are you hearing this? He has an actual debt-free zero date and millionaire date. How many of you can honestly say you know when your zero date is going to be or your millionaire date is going to be? I know you can't.
Now,
Do now.
Outstanding, guys. This is a game changer. We are shifting your money back into your pocket. Why? Because it's your money. And you should be the one making the decision on how to have your money make more money. And so if you don't have your money flowing, then you don't have that as an option. And we want to release that flow. We want to unblock your money flow so that you
part.
make the decisions that you want to make with your money.
Man.
Thank you so much, partners, for sharing those outstanding testimonies. Mr. Hardon, would you like to talk about the next item?
Yeah, so I do, but I don't want to let this go unstated because here's the power of what we're doing right now. If you think about just giving people access to the education first and the expert second, we got Bernard a raise at his job, an increase in his credit score, and we're saving him 50 years of his life.
Yes.
We got Mr. Hardon a good enough credit score that lenders are fighting for his business. Can you imagine the difference in feeling between when you want to buy a house and you don't know if you'll qualify for a loan and you have them bidding the packages?
Yes.
Right? And then helping people shred their bills. So the most important part of this conversation has already happened, meaning if you knew that you could help somebody lower their taxes, get them out of debt, get their credit score up, and have their bills reduced, would you tell them about it?
Yes.
So it's only natural. If you knew you could do those things, would it be okay if somebody paid you for it?
Absolutely.
And that's the second strategy with what we do with Making Wealth Real. Now, here's a brilliant thing. I tell people up front, you can choose to use these strategies with any business vehicle you like, but you will not find one better suited for what we do than this one, because they accelerate all the strategies. And I say it in this way. If you think about all the things that we did, that Tia shared with us, that we do to get your money back in your pocket, that could be anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars a month. But if our goal is to make wealth real for people, let me share some business reality. At some point, you got to do more than just make the money that you make. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you recap the things that we talked about, that's getting you your money back. And to do those things, to do all of the stuff we talked about is less than $80 a month. That did all those things for those people and some more things we hadn't talked about yet. But the next thing we talk about is building a business income. And I like to make the clear differentiating line right here. If you only want experts to help you get your money back, do it. It's worth it. Most people ask, what does it cost? What it does cost, it costs you thousands of dollars a month not to have some help trying to do it by yourself. $100 a month to get the team on your side. And here's the thing, it's no commitment, no contract. You don't get the results you want, they actually have a money back guarantee. Just take action. But now the second category, people that are really looking to create wealth, and I do draw a broad line right here. People that want to be wealthy and people that don't. You got to shift the source of your income if you're going to create real wealth. Because here's the definition. It's having your investments make enough money that you don't have to work again, but you can maintain your lifestyle. If we just do that for you, you're wealthy and you're welcome. It's $228 to invest, to build business with us using our Financial Edge membership and our education system, and $119 a month. I want you to write those numbers down so that when we start calculating return on investment, you'll understand why I say I'm so excited about this, not just because of what it is, but what it's allowing us to do for people. $228 upfront is your investment to get started. $119 a month to get paid based on helping people shift their income back. Am I making sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is irrelevant for right now, but it's a training point later. That counts for 3 points. So let's talk about the financial edge, the other part of the financial edge membership, which is how we get paid. How many of you would like to create an additional income? Wait, let's make sure that I'm talking to the right people. Let me look at you. How Chuck say it? Let me look at y'all in your eyeballs who want to make money. Thumbs up, some to make sure that I'm alive. I'm talking to real people. Okay. Because here's what happens when it comes to making income in America is what quadrant your money comes in. Does that make sense? Meaning, if you think about it, and this strategy isn't even ours. This was Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What did he say? He said that if you want to be wealthy, you can't live on the left side of the quadrant. Now, let me break that down. Left side is what we were taught, employee or start my own business. How many of you were taught, I want to either be an employee or start my own business? Well, if you're an employee, you have one source of income, and that's not in your control. That's a job. And 2020's already told everybody in America, there's no such thing as a secure job. Your time equals money if you're an employee and there's no leverage. The S quadrant, that's when you get to own a business. Now, my brother and I are blessed. Our dad was one of the best sole proprietors in America, but he was also one of the busiest men alive. He taught us that when you work for somebody, you work from 5 to 9. But when you own your own business, you work from 5 till 9. And he meant 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. But on the right hand is where the wealthy people in America live. They own a business system where they have a system or network where they got leverage on their income. So rather than having 100% of their own efforts, they got the leverage of other people by helping them build their business. And then on the back end, where we're headed is for investment income. So our last two strategies, we didn't make them up. We just found a way to make them practical. Does that make sense? So how do we get paid? We get paid 10 different ways with what we do through MWR Financial. Now, I don't even have time to go into all 10 ways that we get paid. I'm going to focus on 4. I'm going to recap them. And then when that's done, we'll talk about investment income, 2 goals and objectives, and we're done. Thank you. 10 different ways. Take a screenshot. That's an ugly picture. But here's the first one. Our focus is teaching people entrepreneurship. So the first thing that I teach people to do is make their business profitable. The book, The Richest Man in Babylon, said, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Said, make your home make money. So that's what we do. We go through 3 ways of teaching people how to have this business self-funding so that people are never worried again about this $119 a month, because it's only $119 a month until you get it rolling. Because that's what we focus on, is return on investment. This whole conversation, return on investment. So for what do we get? What do we do? For most people, 80% of people in America actually use their Money Max or give them a pay raise and allow the government to subsidize their business. Put this in your notes. Government subsidizes businesses all the time. Why wouldn't they do it for yours? So the pay raise of $324 that Bernard got, or $1,272 that I got, is way more than the $119 that it costs to get me the experts, to get me the information, to get me the money. Does that make sense? But then the second is we teach people, be passionate about helping people get their money back. When 3 people sign up as your Financial Edge customers to get the experts to help them get their money back, MWR starts taking the membership portion of your payment away. You just don't owe it. So now your overhead is $40 a month. And then my favorite way, the thing that sets in motion the movement, is you find 3 people that see this the way that you do. Say for the sake of this conversation, you found myself, Tia Glenn, and Bernard Ponder. Man, listen. You can't control another man's excitement. So when the 3 of us go to work getting our money back, but also going to work to build our business, to build our enterprise, it puts you in a unique position where you start the process of turning on daily pay, meaning you earn $5 a day in this business. Man, Chuck, you should have seen some of their faces. He said, $5? Let's talk about $5. That $5 ain't no money, but $5 is $150 a month.
Every month.
And since a business only costs $4 a day, every day you're making $1 more than it costs to be in business. If you just get excited about teaching that blueprint to people quickly, this is where things get exciting. Because just imagine this. I shared this with my best friend, Sean, in June. June 8th, Sean got started in business. June Later on June 8th, Sean had already found 3 people that got started with him in business. He made $150 upfront for identifying those 3 people, but he and they got excited about going and doing the same process. So in 7 days, they found 3 more for each of them. That's $450 that went to Sean. That's another $600. And by 30 days in business, he was able to generate an extra $1,500 on an investment of $228 and some phone calls. That's a 675% return on investment, and that's just getting started. Now, by the way, Sean is excited. I want you to meet him when you get a chance. We're doing some special training events coming up over the next couple of days. Make sure you meet him. But understand this. That's just getting started. That just gets the ball rolling, because by doing those things, it triggers everything else. So write this in your notes. Success loves speed. Move quickly. Be quickly coachable to do the things that are in the game plan, because things get gooder once you get, yeah, I said gooder. Gooder is a word that I endorse and embrace, because there is nothing gooder than daily guaranteed pay. And I say it in this way. As that team builds, that initial team of 3 that got you to $5 a day, it wasn't for you to get the $5 a day. It was to help you get them into daily pay. As you help those 3, identify 3 people, that takes you to 20, then 30, then 50, then 100. And I know what you're saying, man, they ain't paying $100 a day. Bruh, let me tell you something. All the people on this screen, there's so many people that we've helped get to just the $20 a day. And this is actually my benchmark. I don't think a person's in business till we really get to $20 a day, because then we're starting to make life-changing income. Now you're saying to yourself, $20 a day, $600 a month, that's not life-changing income. But you know whose life it would have changed? Oh, Bernard, you flexing on me, you got the 20 up? We don't have to show you a picture, Bernard. We show you a picture of Bernard's phone. Bernard, tell them, how do you know every day that you're getting paid your daily guarantee?
It comes in just like this. You text message every single day. 502, 502, $20 a day. And it's just a stress relief, man. I like it. Extra gas in the car, extra food on the weekend, Taco Tuesdays. It's a little bit more enjoyable. It's a nice extra cushion of cash to be able to live your life how you want to.
It's a blessing.
It is.
It's absolutely, I mean, just think about it, because the average American family that filed bankruptcy last year, that the statistics say that if they just had an extra $500 in cash flow coming in, they could have avoided that. So, but here's the thing. Once you get to $20 a day, you get addicted to the feeling of letting other people know what that feels like. So as people get promoted, and look around, see, there's Bernard over here. You got people from all walks of life getting in, building business, getting to $20 a day. And then from there, you help enough people do that, you end up at $30 a day, extra $900 a month. And the exciting thing is it continues to urge you to make progress just to help people get the result that you got. It pushes you to the next result. Does that make sense? So you go from there to the $50 a day. I remember being at $50 a day for a long time and being just amazed at what it was like to make no less than a comma every 30 days. But then eventually you start looking at the people that are making $100 a day, and you become one of the people that make $100 a day, while watching the people that are making $150 a day on the way to being in that top tier. And here's the exciting thing. That, by the way, that's my brother Chuck. I'm going to ask him to share some things as I come to the end of this before we talk about the process of creating investment income. But understand this, $150 in daily guaranteed pay, and that's only a part of what we get paid, because there's 10 income streams. They also have a luxury car bonus, where the blessing is they don't require you to buy a car. They just add another $500, $1,250, or $3,000 to your payment. It comes on the 10th of the month. We love the 10th. Imagine what it's like to get paid from your job on the 1st. Get paid again, possibly more than you got paid on your job on the 10th, and then get paid again on the 15th. It's an extra paycheck. And think about what it would be like if somebody sent you an extra $500. Could it cover your car note?
Yep.
I mean, if they jumped it up to $1,250, could it cover your car note and possibly be a piece of rent?
Most definitely.
Your mortgage? And if they got you to $3,000 a month, could that cover the car note and the mortgage?
Oh, yeah.
So all of that's in the comp plan. And here's the blessing. It comes from helping people. We don't do anything like people say, well, what's the extra qualification for the car? No, keep helping people. Right. Be focused on what you're supposed to do, help more people get their money back and help the people that are working with you make more money. And we got all kinds of people from all walks of life. With these car bonuses, there are some people that ought to look familiar by now. There's my brother Chuck already at the tier 2. That's the $1,250 vehicle bonus. In addition to the daily pay, there's Cash Flow Christy Howard. Listen to this. Chuck, Christy, and Brian are all younger than me. They went to school, to the same elementary school, all together, but they stayed lifelong friends. Now, Brian Bean is one of our mentors in business at this point. He didn't buy these cars with the luxury vehicle bonus. He was already an auto collector when he got into this company. But he'll take the $3,000 and teach us how to get there. How many of you would love to learn from somebody that already owns 12 cars with no car notes?
No car notes.
And then, just this last category, and this is just for range, because it's all kinds of people that need the solutions that we have. Presidential bonus anywhere from $500 to $100,000 a month. We got people at the 500, the 1,000, coming up on the 2,500. That puts you in $1 million ring earner. And right now, the top position, this is how new our company is. See, I think people forget, because Brian Bean has been to the top of every company that he's joined over the past 25 years. And he's right now only halfway to the top of this bonus. But that halfway is $10,000 a month. He earns no less, cumulative, no less than $50,000 a month. So what I say, not to impress you with how much money he's making, but with the power of what we're doing with income shifting. Because just to quickly recap, that on that $228 a month, $228, $119 a month, we get you started with the momentum bonus, anywhere from $150 to $900 a month. Leadership bonuses happen every day, anywhere from $10 to $75. Luxury vehicle bonus, $500, $1,250, and $3,000 out of tiers. Presidential bonus, you can have a $1.2 million income in just this stream of income. And then daily guaranteed pay, anywhere from $5 a day to $1,000 a day, just in summary. We're talking about adding to the income that you got back from your job, somewhere between $150,000 and $30,000 a month. And that's a part of how we make wealth real. And before I even jump into the last pillar, because the best part we still haven't gotten to yet is the investment income. But I want to bring my brother to the line just to focus on something significant. It's the power of a movement. It's the power of people getting together and doing things together the right way. And I couldn't think of anybody better to be in business with than this young man right here, because you already saw him on the slides at $150 a day guaranteed pay, at the $1,250 car bonus, at the $1,000 presidential bonus. Do you know that he generates more income part-time from this business than most people generate from their full-time job? And the best part about it is when we get together to work, we have fun. How many of you just tired of just going to work, working with people that you don't like and would not like to see, but instead get to jump on Zoom or hop in the room with somebody you love? That's what I get to do every day. So it's my immense pleasure to welcome our next $1 million ring earner. That's my brother, y'all. Wait right here. Let me get Chuck Hollywood Hard. Chuck, share whatever you want to share.
Osman, hey, before I say anything, let me let you know, you and Tia Glenn are doing an amazing job on just painting a picture of what our movement is all about helping people, all about blessing people, all of the things that you bring to the table. Honestly, I jumped on the webinar just so I can hear you do it again, so I can get a little bit better when I give my conversation. So thank you so much, Tia. You are killing, you are rocking this thing. I mean, just from the short time you've been in the company, the growth that you have, bringing that professionalism to the team is blessing a whole lot of people. So thank you so much for everything that you do. I really do appreciate you. And my conversation is going to be real quick because they already laid out everything, you guys. This is what we have to understand. This movement is so important because it doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter how much money you make. All of us have different goals and different dreams, but all of us have one very common objective, at the end of the day, we all want to be successful financially, right? If that's you, at the end of the day, you want to have financial success, give me the thumbs up, right? So that means we know we were put here to do more than just work, pay bills, and die. But how many people do you know get caught up in that cycle of not living to thrive, but just barely living to survive? And I'm not just saying people that's living on the street. I'm saying people that have good jobs, got good incomes, but still living check to check, right? Some must check behind the check. That was me. I was working hard, doing my best, trying to figure out how I could do better for my family. But who's ever heard this phrase before? The more you make, the more they take. If you've ever heard that, give them a thumbs up.
Yep.
So if you don't figure out how to get them from taking so much, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're going to always find yourself ice skating uphill. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that we do is we put the membership to work. We give people a viable solution to help with that problem, to help with just understanding. We have to shift your mindset before we can shift your income. So our movement is to shift the mindset. And for anyone that wants to get paid for blessing people to shift their mindset, come on board, because that's what we do. Because everybody does what we do. No one on walking the earth doesn't do income shifting. They just been trying to figure it out by themselves, right? Nobody wants to be in debt, but you've been trying to figure out how to get out of debt by yourself. Everybody wants a high credit score, but you've been trying to figure out how to increase your credit score by yourself, right? Everybody want to bring in more money, but you've been trying to figure out how to do that by yourself. Now we have experts in place at each one of those specific arenas that work directly with you. So if you're tired of working by yourself, if you're tired of being in the fight by yourself, come on and join the movement. Come on, matter of fact, let me walk in. Come on in. Come on, right? Come on in. Come on. Let me walk you to the movement. Because we like a freight train, no brakes, no gears. If you slow down, we're going to leave you behind. If you get off the track, we got to leave you. If you get in front of us, we got to run you over because we got too many people to bless. All right. So I'm going to pass back over to you, big bro, because bringing in the extra income is awesome, but doing the right things with it makes it all worthwhile.
Man, y'all give it up. Y'all give it up for my brother, Chuck Hardon. That is a bad man, isn't he? And now, and to take us home, because I didn't realize, Tia, we have enjoyed this conversation much too much. We are keeping these people up much too late. If you don't lose sleep about this conversation, here's the last thing. So I'm going to run through these things, not because they're not important. I just want to respect our time contract. But our last tier, you take the additional income from your cash flow increase from your job. You build enough business income so that you don't have to worry about how much money's coming in, but more importantly, so you have some money to put into your investments. Because that's the thing that we learned with Wealth Max. That's our final pillar, is Wealth Max gives us access to just two kinds. I'll talk about two tonight, and we'll have to have a whole separate session where we just talk about an investor's mindset. But just imagine this concept with private reserve banking, with private reserve account, you get an alternative to the traditional account that lets you be the bank for your family. Instead of letting your bank take your money through direct deposit and checking and savings and building the biggest building in our city, we get a chance to have an account that's linked to the market's upturns and not the downturns. So we're not doing the 401k heart attack, but also we get to have our money make money. Right now, these accounts are earning an average of 12 to 14%. And as it's growing, you can still borrow against the money as if the whole amount was there. You put $50,000 in, but you take $25,000 out for your next real estate transaction or to become a student loan. And now you're the bank for your family. And you pay yourself back on your terms. It's powerful what we're able to do with this. And that gets compounded with the ability to do what we call land banking, which is an investment in land in the path of growth. I won't talk about the prospectus of the property so much as to say, if you could end up with a 20 to 40% below market value investment in land, and your neighbors were Warren Buffett, NASA, Northrop Grumman, and Kaiser Permanente, all building new jobs in green energy valley in this new area, and you could buy the land wholesale, acquire the deed and sell it retail, earning average 24% per year during the whole time, would you do it? It's just a way to not have all our eggs in the 401k stock market basket. Does that make sense?
Right.
So just
Yes.
recap everything we talked about: business, cash flow, investments, all this we talked about. At the end of this conversation, Tia, here's what I understand. You can invest in private reserve banking, land banking. The best investment you can make is in yourself. It's in yourself. It's in your mindset. It's if you pour your wallet into your mind, your mind will fill your wallet forever. But Wealth Max is that final pillar. And here's what people have to understand. If you're not investing, you're not even on the road to wealth. And by the way, for those of you that were trying to fill in your blanks, I think that completed your score. Because after the 3 solutions, it all comes down to 2 objectives. Like if you really think about the stress and strain that everyone in America is going through right now over who'll be elected our chief executive officer, think about the last president that you loved. How much did that person change your economy? Think about the last president that you hated.
Hey.
How much did that person change about your personal economy?
Personal.
So what matters way more than who ends up in the White House is what we do in our house. Because no matter who ends up there, your lifestyle is going to be paid for by your labor. And your future lifestyle is going to be paid for by your investments. You should just make an investment in making wealth real with our Financial Edge membership. And here's what I know, Tia. No matter how much we break this conversation down, at the end of the conversation, there's always 3 people, 3 categories of people. Number 3 says, I'm out. At this point, I received that. I just thank you for taking the time to get the information. Because here's what's true. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And at least now you know better and you can refer it to somebody else and they can do better. So if this isn't for you, let somebody that you know that might be receptive to this know what we're doing. Because it's all you got a miracle in your mouth. And a blessing's not a blessing until you pass it on. Number 2 person says, I just want to expand my cash flow. I don't really want to start a business or generate an additional income or even get the tax benefits. What I really want is just my money back. I'm tired of the big 3 taking my paycheck, $79 a month. We'll put the team to work for you so that we can get those taxes down, get those paychecks up, get those interest rates down so that we can get your cash flow up, get those bills down so that the money that's coming into your house stays with you longer so it can do more for you. $79 gets you access to all 4: credit, equity, money, and wealth right there. And then number 1 person says, man, what do I have to do what you're doing? I want the experts to help me, but more importantly, I want to help other people get their money back. And if they pay me for it, great. $228 investment, $119 a month. And think about just the law of infinite returns. Because now you get to put yourself in a position where think about the numbers in our comp plan and what you make today, where you get to decide that whether the job keeps you or not, you'll have a reminder at 5 o'clock every day that you got paid, not just for things you did, but for things you started. And it'll keep coming month after month after month, year after year. That's how the rich get richer. Now we can take on the wealth mindset by having cash flow management, business income, investment income. We make wealth real for us first, start and change our families, in our communities, then our cities, then the country. It's tough to change the state of America from on our couch, but we get up here and go get it. Imagine what we can do once we got a nation of debt-free millionaires. That's our mission. That's our message. This is Richard Hardon, Bertie and Richard's Big Baby. Boy, it's been my plum pleasing pleasure as well as my privilege. Man, let's shift income. Let's shift minds. Let's change the world. Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys for joining. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.